Welcome back to Rockingham as GT cars line up on the grid for round 6 of the championship. Pole goes to the TVR Speed 12.
Yeah, I think we stand a good chance. We obviously came close at Croft, and we've been getting more and more competitive. But you just never know. You never know, but hopefully we can do it.
And it's a TVR on pole for GTO class as well. Rob Barth and Martin Short.
Really unbelievably happy. The noise is good, it looks good, and the performance is terrific.
It looks spectacular as the field comes around turn 4 here at Rockingham on the banked turn 4 to take the rolling start to get round 6 of the championship underway. On the front row, the power goes down now as they cross the line, and the TVR Speed 12 from pole position has the inside line. In second place from the outside of the front row, it's the Lister. This is GTO, and already Rob Barth has lost a place. He's fighting back with Matt Turner on the outside as they go down towards the first of the hairpins to take them onto the infield section. And he's holding on, he's on the inside line going all over the dirt. Matt Turner's on the outside, Rob Barth is on the inside. There's not enough space, is there? And did you see the Lister in GT class falling further down the order? Meanwhile, overall leader Michael Caine goes just a little bit wide and kicks up the dust and kicks up the rocks at Rockingham. And then we have the GTO leader just in view there, and that is the car of Kelvin Burt. Back on with the GTO battle, Rob Barth. That's the replay of him going all over the rocks on the inside line as he goes around the left-hander, and further GTO battles down the order as they negotiate the final hairpin to take them back onto the oval. And it's good to see so many different cars. Now we're on board with the Porsche GT3R of Gavin Pickering, and we are just behind Terry Reimer and Adam Simmons' car, having a look down the inside as we go up towards turn 4 through the chicane. There's no chicane, is there, for goodness sake? Now he's got bodywork flapping on the right-hand side of the car, sustained a bit of damage, but it doesn't look as if it's impeded his progress down towards the hairpin that'll take him onto the infield section. And he goes straight on in between the cones, and maybe he's got just a little bit too much damage, like his air conditioning, by the way, just to the right of the driver, keeping him nice and cool. Keeping nice and cool at the front of the field is the TVR Speed 12. That's the Viper in second place of Rob Wilson. And then we've got a gap back to the leader of GTO and third overall at the moment. That's the Porsche of Kelvin Burt. That is a battle we didn't expect to see. The Lister Storm trying to make its places up at the moment in 5th place overall, and it's battling with the GTO car, the TVR, which was on pole position in GTO, of Rob Barth. Now we'll have a look back at exactly how much damage was sustained front on by Gavin Pickering's car, and yeah, it becomes fairly evident why he was unable to continue. Back with this Lister, still trying to get past the GTO leader as they come in front of the grandstand. Tremendous view for the spectators, and finally Kelvin Burt relinquishes the position, moves over to one side because as far as class leading goes, that is unaffected. The pit stops are now underway. The door of the TVR Tuscan R is opened and the driver change is effected. Martin Short now being strapped into the car, and very important for the team to get the driver out and the driver back in and the car back out on the circuit as soon as possible. That's slick work by the Mole Valley boys, and the exchange is now made. So Martin Short now at the wheel of the TVR Tuscan R. Pit stop for the car in second place. That's the Viper. Rob Wilson getting out, Tim Harvey getting in. And let's see how quickly Tim Harvey can get his bulk into the driver's seat. Well, he does so fairly quickly. Now, we saw it going so well early on. Matt Turner is manhandled out of the car and thrown on the floor. Thanks for that, guys. I thought you liked me. Gets up, dusts himself down and gets congratulations from the team sponsor for a very good early stint for Matt Turner. Now we're back with the race leader, and must be an awesome feeling to put the power down in the TVR Speed 12. It goes through the chicane. Now the Lister comes in. It's had a troubled first part of the race. Let's see if the second part of the race goes a little bit better once Dave Warnock gets out of the car and Mike Jordan gets into the car. Let's see how quickly the team can strap him in. Let's see how quickly the car can go back out onto the circuit. Coming in is the race leader. Michael Caine is about to hand over to Bobby Verdon-roe, and we've seen how quickly the car has gone during the race. How slowly does it go as it comes into the pit lane, keeping to the limits? Well, that's fairly quick as Charlotte Osborne runs away from the car and leaves the car parked in the middle of the track. That is the GTO car now with Ed Horner at the wheel, and coming up behind it, just into shot on the right-hand side, blasting past the Hayden-Stanton TVR is the car now with Tim Harvey at the wheel of the Chrysler Viper. Safety car is out. Right, all of the cars slow down, form up behind the safety car, and that's the GTO TVR. It's not the GTO car that the safety car needs, so that will be waved through. The safety car goes wide onto the right-hand side of the track and will now wait for the overall race leader, Bobby Verdon-roe. Now he'll just be pootling behind the safety car as Charlotte Osborne's car is recovered on the back of the Land Rover, on the back of a piece of string. That will be taken back to the pit lane, and as soon as the track is clear, we'll be racing again as we come up towards the grandstand, across the line. And my goodness, what a good restart that is for the TVR Speed 12. Neither of the drivers nor the car have put a single wheel wrong, but the luck isn't going the way of the Lister Storm, getting balked by one of the slower GTO Marcos Mantis and not making up as many places on the restart as it would have liked. Everybody else cleanly through on the restart, no problems for the GTO cars. And let's have a look what we're about to see coming around the left-hander. It's the GTO battle, and that's Marino Franchitti now at the wheel of the GTO Porsche, and directly behind it's Martin Short in the TVR Tuscan R. Front on, we look at the Porsche, and that car has been very successful in the championship so far this year. Kelvin Burt and Marino Franchitti. Now they go side by side. The Harlow car having a look on the outside. That puts them on the inside line for the next turn, and there's no way around there. So the positions in GTO remain unchanged, and the Lister Storm has a little bit of daylight to make up before he closes up on the second place Viper of Tim Harvey. No daylight in the GTO battle. That is Martin Short. He's second in GTO and trying to bring down the gap between himself and that man, Marino Franchitti, at the wheel of the Porsche, trying to get past one of the slower cars. That's Ben Devlin in the Chrysler Viper, and it's not that easy for Marino to get past, so he needs to wait another corner. He can't afford to wait for too long, because snapping at his heels now is Martin Short. That TVR seems to be going very well. There's Jamie Campbell-Walter, works Lister driver, looking on. That is the Speed 12. Here comes the Lister. It makes up a place, my goodness. So it makes up a place, and then fighting back is Tim Harvey. They're going to go side by side as they do go side by side on the left-hand side of your screen. It's Tim Harvey in the Viper. On the wide outside line, it's the Lister Storm. So who's going to get the better? Tremendous stuff. Still side by side, and it's still the Viper in the lead. Around the left-hander, the Lister Storm goes through on the inside, and immediately Tim Harvey fights back. On board with Tim Harvey now. This is the bumper cab. Tremendous stuff. Let's see if we get a Viper going down on the inside, or is it going to be a Lister on the outside? The Lister holds the line on the outside, but there's no way around there. Tremendous stuff. Tim Harvey, a racer through and through, formerly of the British Touring Car Championship and back in the touring cars as well this year. Looking at the back of the Lister goes through. And now we're looking for the bumper cab of Tim Harvey's once again. It's good to be so close to the tarmac here at Rockingham. It's very new. On the inside line this time, Lister Storm on, and just settling back a little bit, dropping back a little bit was Tim Harvey. He'll need to do something about that and fight back. Oh dear, oh dear. That's Ben Devlin's Chrysler Viper, and it looks a little bit like engine smoke. Oh, and there's more engine smoke as well. So Edward Horner's car is alongside on the left of your picture, and Ben Devlin's very smoky car is on the right-hand side. And it still continues to smoke, and it still continues to stay on the circuit. Oh dear, retirement for the TVR Tuscan R that was so close at the front of the GTO battle of Martin Short. Back on board though with race leader, better TVR luck for Bobby Verdon-roe, looking for their first race win with Michael Caine of the year. Puts the power down, and that must be a joy. So close to the wall with the awesome power of the Speed 12, and that's a slightly ironic shot. It's good luck for TVR at the front of the field in the Speed 12. It's bad luck for the Tuscan R. But in the closing stages of round 6 of the championship, this is where the action is. It's the battle on for second place. This time it's the Lister in second place, it's the Viper in third, and that carries good momentum out of the corner. Having a look high wide, and yeah, they came very close indeed. Just a little jink on the steering wheel for Tim Harvey, just to let the Lister know that he's there, and that unsettled the Lister. He goes wide, the Viper goes through, so Tim Harvey, oh yes, and the Lister has got it all wrong. Kicks up the dust on the outside, but doesn't lose too much on the track. But Tim Harvey back into second place. This is the race leader. It's Bobby Verdon-roe in the TVR Speed 12. Goes out of the turn, down goes the power. A glorious sound from the TVR Speed 12. A slower car directly in front, but that will not hinder his progress. Around the last turn, the checkered flag is in sight for the first win of the year for Bobby Verdon-Roe and Michael Kane, both former TVR Tuscan champions, and now they've won a round of the Privilege Insurance British GT Championship from Tim Harvey and Rob Wilson, Mike Jordan and Dave Warnock coming in third, and the GTO winners Kelvin Burt and Marino Franchitti.
At last, we have won on merit properly. In spite of the safety car intervention, yet again, but we would have won, I think, comfortably, but we proved that we actually had the legs to stay in front of the Lister and the Viper in spite of the safety car, so we're over the moon.
Not entirely expected, I have to say. We knew the TVR would give us a hard time, but I was really pleased with my stint, how the lead we built up. But we got some tyre problems towards the end of that stint, so we changed, as a precaution, we changed the rear tyre, which gave us a longer pit stop. And then, of course, with the safety car, we lost all of that advantage, but that makes a good race for the spectators.
So, Dave Warnock and Mike Jordan with 79 points still head Tim Harvey and Rob Wilson, but the gap closes. In GTO, Kelvin Burt and Marino Franchitti extend their lead. The next round of Power Tour is at Castle Combe on the 23rd and 24th of June. We'll see you there.